Welcome to the Deeper Into Movies podcast. My name is Stephen T. Hanley. I'm the founder and lead curator of Deeper Into Movies. We are a pop-up cinema based in London and New York. Today on the podcast, I'm joined by writer, director Charlotte Regan to talk about her debut movie, Scrapper, which is getting a lot of love. It stars our buddy Harris Dickinson and first time actress, I'm gonna blank on her name, Lola Campbell. There we go. And this was such a great conversation. I think Charlotte is so funny and honest and has zero bullshit about her. She's a real one. So this is me and Charlotte Regan.
How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
What posters have you got? Is this your office or you're in your home office vibes?
Home office. So we got Gamo, Billionaire Boys Club. And then the only three posters I have in my house are After Hours, Paris, Texas, and the Peter Bogdanovich movie.
Okay, nice.
They All Laughed.
Bangers. Paris, Texas is the best.
Yeah, that's my top 3 letterbox.
Oh, is it?
I like Blowout as well, but the poster's really ugly, so
Fair.
It can't go on the wall.
Yeah, fair enough.
How about you? Do you have movie merch?
I do not. My flat is quite serial killer vibes. There's absolutely, because I'm renting, I wouldn't want to get into all that. Oh no, you got to pay for this. Your 2K deposit's gone. So it's very minimal. No posters anywhere.
There's no personality anywhere.
No, not at all.
It's just protecting the rent clause. That's fair. What did you grow up watching? What kind of teenager were you?
I didn't really watch much. My nan would watch me and my mum would call them weepy films. She would watch really sad films where people just keep further messing up their lives, those kind of ones. She loved those not Hallmark films, but just the ones where people were just so sad and got sadder. So sometimes I'd watch them, but I didn't really go cinema. My family weren't really an arty family, so yeah, more we'd watch the football, but that was it. That's not very cinematic, unfortunately, or it is.
Yeah. So what were you doing when you weren't watching movies? Did you like school?
I like school. I did not like school very much. No, I wasn't very good at anything. What was I doing instead of watching movies? Just playing football. It was all the house was very football orientated, so it was very Arsenal chat, Arsenal games. My nan took me to the only cinema experience I ever remember is when I was super young. My nan snuck me into the Odeon on Holloway Road, thinking we were going to see, I can't remember what it was, maybe it was a Disney or something light, and accidentally took me into Lord of the Rings, and I was quite young at the time, and it was way too dark for me to be watching, I imagine.
Right.
But I just remember being really obsessed with it and the feeling it kind of could create in you. So maybe that, but I didn't go on to not Steven Spielberg vibes, making Super 8 films and watching loads of arty films or anything like that. No.
So how did you land into filmmaking? Something must have sparked somewhere to get you the bug to make stuff.
I started making music videos when I was 15 for my friends who were rappers and things like that. So I got into that, more the editing and the shots and stuff like that more than anything. And obviously I love cinema now, but yeah, less so back then for sure.
Our friend Scott O'Donnell said that you used to just approach people and ask, "Can I make a video for you?"
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, rappers and things like that. Yeah. And just like not. I was gonna say DM them, but I don't know if DMing was a thing back then. I think it was like MySpace vibes and that. But yeah. I would just meet rappers on shoots and stuff and ask if I could make their next video and things like that. Yeah, and it always worked because who doesn't want a free or cheap music video, you know?
Did you have your own equipment by that point?
Yeah. Like started with like one of the ones you held the screen flipped out for a little while, and then it was like a 550D, like DSLR days came in. So kind of went then a 5D, like went up through the DSLR vibes, yeah.
Yeah, so how did you start playing with cameras? Let's go back. This is just, I've never met anyone who didn't grow up watching movies, so, who became a director. So, I mean, this is unique. We haven't had the story on the podcast before.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just that everyone was like, it was when the grime scene was getting quite big. So all my friends were like within that world, and I loved that world. Like I loved the music, and I loved like going to the studio and watching them record. And I tried rapping quite a few times, and I just could not do it. Unfortunately, I had no musical talent. And I like wasn't cool enough to like stand in their videos, you know, to be like one of the background people just like, yo. So I think my only option to like stay in that world was to do the music videos, like because I wanted to be around it. I really wanted to like document that kind of like grime culture and just be in the world and be in the studio, but I wanted like a reason to be there. So it kind of started through that really, and they were all terrible at first, and I would edit them on iMovie and no one really wanted them, you know, but it just kind of, like everything, it just kind of grew, and I was lucky that all my friends were the rappers and they were starting off in their career, so a flawed video worked for them, do you know what I mean? It didn't have to be perfect at the time, like, and it just they would trust me, and the more we went on and the more they got more of an audience, like so did I, and it just worked through that, I guess.
Was this like the Risky Roads era?
Yeah, it was like UK Overstood, like Benny Banks and Joe Black and like all those lot and Squeaks and stuff like that. It was kind of around that time. Link Up TV was coming about and GRM Daily and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, Bashi used to go to my school. That's the only rapper who I know.
Nice, that's a good one. Bashi's a gem.
Yeah. He was like, I'm working on my new mixtape. It's called the Suck Your Mom mixtape. And I was like, that's a great title.
It's an iconic title.
Mixtape. Yeah. And then he had the Chupa Chups mixtape.
Yeah.
And then the kind of a Chupa Chup was like a signature lollipop accessory trademark and stuff, which was cool.
Yeah.
Did you have concepts for these videos, or did you kind of just make them up did you have to like sell them with like a concept and a deck kind of thing, or were they just down for whatever?
For years it was just performance videos, especially whilst I got used to using cameras and that kind of world, and then it kind of changed. I think I was talking to someone about this morning, weirdly. I think Bashi's video Ransom that he did with like Schoolchild was a big part of like what changed the music video game, because it was like a narrative that was using those guys as the main actors, and that kind of, it felt like was a moment in music videos where people were like, oh, we don't have to just stand in front of the camera rapping, you know, we can do these concepts. So whilst the trends changed, it started to change what like people like me were being allowed to do, I guess. So I could start pitching narratives, and it would be less of like an alienating response that I would get in return to them, if you know what I mean. So it kind of grew naturally with time, and started pitching the bigger stuff as I went on. Yeah.
Scorcher I've met when I did a big feature on Top Boy. He was cool.
Yeah,
he's incredibly tall.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like six. He's definitely like 6'6" or something. I have a photo next to him where I just look ridiculous.
Did you meet Kano as well?
He was the only one who wouldn't participate. Oh. I got everyone, all the directors, all the cast, but yeah, it was weird. Kano was the only one who we couldn't get because he was promoting his album at the time.
Fair enough. I love Kano. I think he's just like such a captivating actor and my favorite rapper in the whole world. He's just incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, him in the latest series when it got restarted for Netflix.
Yeah. He's
incredible. He's so haunted and traumatized, really heavy.
Yeah, he's so good.
It was because the first two series is pretty good because he's just a chaotic one.
Yeah.
Who's just gonna fuck shit up with his hot temper and stuff, but now his character's completely pivoted. It's really exciting seeing like
Yeah.
Ashley up against the ropes, and Kano's just just a ghost almost. He's so haunted by all
Yeah.
the shit he's experienced.
Trevor is so like captivating to watch and has like this edginess where you're never quite sure of like what he's gonna do, which is like such an exciting quality for an actor. I find like every scene, I
Yeah.
have no idea what's gonna happen because he's such a incredible performer.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Mubi. Mubi is a curated streaming platform bringing you the best in cinema. So regular listeners of the pod will know I usually dig in and find free gems from the Mubi platform. Today, I only need to give you one, and the film is called Passages. And I'm going on record. For me, so far, it's the movie of the year. It's about a gay couple whose marriage is thrown into crisis when one of them begins an affair with a young woman. Ben Whishaw, who's been on the pod before, is fantastic as he always is. Franz Rogowski is a force of fucking nature. These guys are just incredible. Passages is now in cinema across the UK and Ireland and many other countries, and will stream exclusively on Mubi later this year. To find out more about the movie and where to see the movie in cinemas, go to mubi.com/passages. I'm telling you, film of the year. And just so you know, after you've seen Passages and you've been punched in the feels, you may need some other movies to pick you up. We got you. Go to mubi.com/deeper into movies for 30 days free of great cinema. That's mubi.com/deeper into movies. What was your initial idea for the film? Did you have a spark of an idea that you built from, or an image in your head or something?
No, it kind of started very different. When we started iFeatures, it started as like a teenager and his nan running away from drug dealers. It was much more like Guy Ritchie. It had much more crime in it, and it was very different to what it has become now. It just ever changed, and I have no idea why or what made it change. It just is. I'm very uninspiring and stuff like that.
And what was the casting process like? How many kids did you see before you landed on Lola?
Loads, because we got quite into the casting process the year we were greenlit before we got pushed back. So that was pre-COVID, so we were going into schools and getting to like watch classes and kind of talk to kids within schools, and we met quite a few great like people for Georgie in particular. But then a year later, when COVID had changed and we would put back into pre-production or whatever, we went to meet some of those girls, and just in that 1 year they had changed quite a bit. It's that age between like 11 and 12 and like starting secondary school, I think, where they've kind of become quite self-conscious, and suddenly talking about aliens or magic had become uncool, and it was a lot more about fashion and like boys and things like that. So which was all for the best, because I honestly think like no one could have done the film other than Lola. I think she is like what saves the film, is a bad way to put it, but she anchors the film and she carries it on her shoulders, which is such a big thing for someone that was like 11 at the time we filmed. Yeah.
How do you know with a young actor that's going to carry the film that she's got the chops and dedicated enough to carry it through?
I think you just don't know, innit? You just kind of hope, but there's no way to know. You can like do sessions, you can do rehearsals, but nothing can compare to like standing on set with like a load of people around and having the pressure of a schedule and a day on you and knowing that you're in
exactly
every scene. So you just don't know. So it's just like a never-ending like risk. And I guess just me and Theo and Shaheen, who's the casting director, who's incredible, were always like, as long as like Lola is the priority. And by then she was obviously like all of our like best friends. Like we like absolutely loved Lola. So we just kept thinking like, as long as we only give her what she can handle and as long as she has a good time, then who gives a fuck about the film? Do you know what I mean? Like Lola is much more important than a film. And luckily she just got there on the day and just loved the environment and loved the kind of pressure and kind of thrived in it. So it kind of worked out and we got super lucky. I'm sure that's not the same with everyone with casting young people.
Yeah, I guess, because it's one thing agreeing to something and then another thing being on set when everyone's around you.
Yeah, exactly. When you've not done it and you have no idea what you're agreeing to and what it means for a film to then be released and for everyone at your school to see it, it's a never-ending process. Things that you have no idea what you've really agreed to because you haven't experienced it before, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when I was in uni, and the last year we wanted to cast someone around 12 in it was like 10 or 12 in a film, and we went to a young acting school and we sat in on a few classes and we said, yeah, we think the girl with the blonde hair is the one. Can you ask her, does she want to do the film?
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, cool. And they just brought in another kid completely who was so excited. And I was like, that's not her. And it was so gutting. And then it was like, I thought you said the blonde. I was like, the other one in the blue jumper. And then we had to crush that one's hope and dreams and then bring in the other one. And it was
brutal.
This is just, this was like some X Factor savagery of, you're not
Did you not write a little side role? So
we said we've got a group scene. This is the other mayhem we did, that we wanted them to be throwing fireworks, but so we just made we got sparklers and put them in these little plastic tubes so they look kind of like they were throwing rockets. And then one of them hit the big box of fireworks that was going off all around, and it knocked it on its side, and the fireworks kind of almost flew at the kids. And I was like, this is fucking insane. We're gonna kill someone if this continues. So. But the parents were all there, and I was like, everyone, duck. And then we just got back into it before the parents could pull their kids off set through fear of getting a rocket in their face.
No. Have you seen that like viral video with all the London kids that are shooting fireworks at each other and they put the Harry Potter music to it?
Yes, that's incredible.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like you've recreated that.
How was it balancing Harris's performance with Lola's and getting them? How much time did they have together, bonding and stuff before the film?
They had like a week of rehearsal that we did before the film, which Alan was meant to be at as well, but something happened in his school with COVID, I think, so he couldn't be. So it was like a week of them like sitting in the school playground, which was our unit base, and becoming friends. It wasn't really rehearsal. Lola didn't really enjoy rehearsing. She would just read it all out really monotone. But I think it was more important that they like chatted rubbish to each other and got to know each other. Lola is a super suspicious person. You have to earn her friendship and trust, which is like very fair. That's how we all are, I guess. So it was a time where Harris was doing that and showing up and being consistent, and they were just talking rubbish and talking about scenes and the filming process. And I think she took a lot from Harris, who is like he's just like mad selfless and like puts his ego aside, and he's just like a mad incredible human being, and no one else would have supported the kids like he did, for sure.
I think he's one of the best of his generation. Seriously.
He's a gem.
Have you seen County Lines?
Yeah.
He's incredible in that
He
film's.
is, and it's shot so beautifully as well. It's like really cinematic. Like I've never seen something like. I think Spare the DP did it. I'm probably fucking that up, but
I love the ratio. It's that got like Academy TV ratio, 16
yeah,
mil.
yeah, it's very beautiful.
So, how was it mixing the naturalistic elements and the fantasy elements together? That's a really interesting mix you have in your film, like for people talking directly to camera, for talking insect and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that Billy did a lot for that kind of stuff. It was something we'd always wanted to do, and I'd always wanted to like make a working class film that wasn't like desaturated and like sad. And I feel like having the child's perspective on the film is what helps you, gives you license to lift it and to not make one of those films. I can
Mm-hmm.
see how it'd be hard if you didn't have a child at the center of it. But yeah, it was for sure weird. Like at script process, people would find those bits weird to read, and that it's the same as like we're talking about knowing if Lola could shoulder all that or not. It's kind of similar with the stylized moments where you're never quite sure if they're going to work, and some of them work a lot better than others, and some of them are dodgy, and that's just it. It is what it is. I think me and Theo and Molly, our DP, like always said we'd like rather take risks and make a flawed film rather than make a flawless but super safe film. We just didn't want to do that. We wanted to like feel like we were rooted in Georgie's perspective, and that meant it feeling like the kids were making the film, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's always a good way of just swing for the fences rather than play anything safe. And
Yeah, yeah.
how did the scene come about where they're doing the voiceover for the couple on the train station?
I think a version of it was always in the script, even when there was different like versions of the script and different characters. There was always like a version of like finding characters that you assume are from a different world to yours and kind of like mocking them and that being undercut. And to be like Lola and Harris, that's one of the big scenes like during that rehearsal week that they spoke about and messed
Yeah.
about with. Like Lola loved scenes like that. She loved comedy scenes. She hated the drama scenes or the emotional ones, but the comedy ones she would like turn up to work with like a smile on her face, knowing she was doing a fun scene. So they
Mm-hmm.
massively like worked on that and improved the dialogue and added like the thing about them, the neighbors having a small lake was like all Lola's addition and some of the best lines. So it's a good time.
What was your most difficult scene to shoot?
Maybe the one where they like reunite, where Harris has been playing football with the kids and they're at the basketball court.
Yes.
That was quite tough. Like it was a mixture of like Lola doesn't like emotional scenes like that, so she wasn't enjoying it. And then in addition to that, like for some reason, whenever we were on Harris's coverage, someone would like zoom by on a bike or a plane would go over. It happened on like 7 takes in a row. So we were like really kind of, I imagine, fucking with his flow by these constant interruptions that were uncontrollable. You know what I mean? There was nothing anyone could do, and he knew that and was totally chill with it. But I can imagine when you're an actor trying to get into a certain space to continuously have that happen and have to start again is, not a joy. So that
For
kind of
sure.
it was like raining, then it was like glaring sun, then it was raining. It was just nonstop kind of weird interruptions. Yeah.
And how was it for you as a director on your first film? Was it a fun experience? Were you stressed out?
Yeah, no, it was mad joyful. Like lots of some of my best friends worked on it, and I was surrounded by people I proper loved. Obviously, I know these things. I find it more stressful in the edit, to be honest, where you're like coming to terms with what you've fucked up and what you can't fix. But the shoot, I never find too deep. I don't know. I do, I'm sure at the time, but I always kind of like remind myself to like get a grip and that I'm like not saving lives. I'm like literally telling a story, which is like kind of a privilege and a joy. And I'm getting to do it with some of my best friends, so I kind of constantly go by that and don't ever have too bad of a time, I guess. Not that I can remember anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, the edit is I enjoy editing, but when you realize that this is the ingredients you have to work with, and there's, or you think you've got it, and you're like, I knew I should have fucking done the one more.
Yeah, yeah.
You kind of double off yourself and think, should I go again? And there's like, no, let's move on. You're like, I knew it.
Yeah, they're the ones that get
It's
you.
all,
Yeah, where you knew it on the
yeah,
day.
like I fucking knew it at the time,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I was conscious of everyone's, patience
yeah,
and
yeah,
for time, and thought we should move on. But
yeah.
is there anything you think you're going to take on to your next feature? Any lesson you've learned that you've like never again, or
Never again. What am I going to say? This is not a good one. This is not like a educational one, but when the animal people tell you that an animal can do a certain thing, it bloody never can. It never can. Absolutely never. This animal guy. He kept being like, "I've got all these cats. They can do whatever you need them to do." These cats would turn up. These cats were not capable. He was defo like over promising what the cats were capable of doing. So I would just run with assuming that the animals cannot do nothing. Yeah, the animals can sit there and look cool, but that is your limit with animals, isn't it? They either fancy it or they don't, which is fair enough, obviously. But otherwise, yeah, I can't think of anything mad inspiring.
no? That's a good. That's specific, but that's a good one. How long do you give a animal before you're just like, dude, you're just wasting my freaking time with this shit?
um, surely, surely you go with like 10, 15 minutes, and then if the animal is showing no sign of being down for, because we weren't even getting them to do anything. Like the cat just had to sit there, but the cat wouldn't even do that. Like, so it's obviously the cat has been caught, heartbreaking for the cat, but so yeah, got to move on. You can't keep burning that time on a cat that does not want to sit somewhere, can you?
That's funny. No, CGI cats from now on.
Yeah, 100%. Big VFX budget in the works.
Just green screen the cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Did you show the cast or crew any movies for inspirational reference during the production?
No, that's not really my vibe. I feel a bit like I think I'm an auteur doing that or something. I know it is cool, and my friends do it, and I rate it, but it's just not my vibe. And Lola, she only likes EastEnders. Like Letterboxd were asking for her favorite four, and I was like, Lola, take this serious,
Sick.
innit? Because it's like super cool. Everyone loves this. It's trendy. It's
Yeah,
trendy.
yeah.
And she was like, EastEnders, and I was like, no, Lola. You got to say something that people will like. Say something trendy, like say After Sun.
Yeah.
Everyone will love that if you say After Sun. But yeah, she wouldn't. So if I would have gave her a film to watch, she never would have watched it anyway. Yeah.
What did you pick for your top four?
What did I pick for my top four? I change it. Do you change yours on Letterboxd based on how you're feeling?
No, we get people are always on us. I like Letterboxd. I'm horrible updating it.
Oh.
And also because we program movies, I feel I need to flex and be like, yeah, I was watching this Russian film today when I was kind of just watching. I'm watching lots of Kirsten Dunst 90s teen movies and stuff.
Love that.
But I don't know. Yeah, I kind of think that the stuff we show is serious and important, but at home, my brain so much of the time just wants to watch something really soft and gentle and fun. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Picked it.
So I think people just be thinking, what is this fucking guy just watching Bring It On 24/7 on his Letterboxd and stuff.
Bring it on though. What a banger.
It's an absolute banger.
Absolute banger. Yeah. You Got Served as well. It's a classic banger. Do you remember You Got Served?
With B2K.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Absolute gem.
Yeah. Well, what did you pick? What did you go with in the end?
I don't know what I picked, but my current four are Arrival,
Wicker Man, Manchester by the Sea, Monos.
Yeah, and then these are my non-arty Ninja Turtles weekend, innit, that I've had. So there you go.
Talk to Me was terrifying.
Talk to Me so terrifying, yeah. Especially like it creeps up on you because it's so fun. The first hour, they're just having such a great time, and then it's like, bang, you fucked your life up. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, I would never deal with that hand. But it's such a great concept because it's so quick of just like you grab the hand, you get possessed.
Yeah.
We film it for Bants. Let's go.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need any more backstory or origin than that. It's just kind of like we're in but yeah, I would never fuck with that.
No, I would never touch the hand. Like
what good can come of it?
Nothing.
There's no
absolutely nothing. Yeah.
No. It's really not worth it. But I love Manchester by the Sea. I think Casey Affleck is incredible in that.
Yeah,
That's truly heartbreaking movie. Finally, what are you going to do next?
Oh yeah, God knows, who knows, innit? Gonna just watch some happy films. Ninja Turtles was a good start. Play some basketball. Do who knows what work will be done. Yeah, I'm not thinking about it too much.
Do you have an idea? Do you have not that you have to mention it, but have you got another dream project in mind?
Yeah, two different ones, but I'm a terrible for changing my mind or suddenly thinking it's the worst idea ever created, or so it takes me a while to ever do them.
Yes, well, I suppose you got to punch it up, and then you got to know this is going to be the next couple of years of your life. So.
Yeah, big commitment. Yeah.
Or just direct some EastEnders episodes.
That's the dream. Lola would be super proud of me. So yeah.
I remember reading that Danny Dyer improvises a bunch of his lines
Does he?
for the show, and they can't control him.
Absolutely.
And he'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, yeah, the film says, no, the script says I'm going to bed. So I walk in, I'm like, yeah, just gonna knock out a few Z's.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, legend.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna let you go. This has been really fun.
Okay, thank you for chatting.
Yeah, you too. Keep up the great work.
Have a good day, evening, day, evening.
You too.
Yeah, both.
Evening. Both.
Yeah, day evening.
Day evening. Yeah. Cool.
Bye.
Boom. That was me and Charlotte Regan. So that's it from me. One quick favor. If you enjoy the pod, give it a like and a subscribe. I've been told it helps a lot. And the bigger the podcast gets, the bigger our guests get. And yeah, I just want to keep it growing and growing. And I always want to keep it free. That's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Joshua Eustace for our beautiful music. And we will speak soon.